This is Texas Tiger Diggs again with new stuff. Once again, I appear to be cluster bombing you with videos, but you know, when I got new stuff, I want to open it, I want to get it going, I want to test it. So you are punished when I get more than one thing within a week or two period. I've got some other things coming in, but they're shafts and connectors and kits for my coils and things, so you won't be punished by that. But when I got something that actually has a market effect on the way I'm detecting or what I'm going to detect, then I will beat you unmercifully with those. Anyway, this is a new package I received, and it's my second purchase from Bulgaria. It's a Detech coil, and a lot of people are leery of making international purchases. But this is my fourth international purchase, and the ones from Bulgaria have been getting here impressively fast. I mean, it's like a week to 10 days. I mean, that quickly. So this is not your mother and father's international shipping where you waited 2 months or 3 months. Now you still do run into that some, because I purchased an analyzer for a car from a Chinese manufacturer, and it took a month and a half to 2 months to get back. That I can't take, and I won't be doing that again. And that's not to say not to say there's anything wrong with purchasing anything from China if you want to, and it's not to say that is something that would be evidenced in everything that comes from China. But that is a very, very long way. I'm not exactly sure what the shipping entailed, but it was very slow, so I don't want to go through that again. But in the case of the Bulgarian shipments and of the shipments I've gotten from the Ukraine, the nail coils, I mean, it's here fast, very, very fast. I've got no complaints at all. In any case, this wrapping, they do a very good job wrapping these, so it's like encased in a what is it? A transparent tape mummy. Like a transparent taped mummy. So I'm going to cut this and then I'll be back, and then I will open the box beneath. Okay, here we go. I have not opened the box, but I have gotten it outside the wrapper. And like I said, you know, I got this from Bulgaria. I looked for a distributor in the States, but I couldn't find one that had the coil I needed, so I did the next best thing. I went and got the coil from the manufacturer. So this is an 8x6 coil here. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, here we go, an 8x6 coil, and this is another coil for my M6 or MX5. So you know, I like these coils. I especially like this form factor coil. They are I used to call some of the coils that we get from the vendors compromised coils. In the case of the M6, it's definitely not a compromised coil. They really sold out on size and dimension on the M6. It is it's definitely not the largest coil you could have gotten with this, but it's just a sizable coil. So yeah, they didn't compromise. This is a field coil. This is a coil for areas with low density and trash, etc. So it's a coil that's not really suitable for some areas of some parks. I do have parks where I do have a lot of space between targets, but with this I only have the choice of using of getting in a certain type of density of area. So I'm going to I'm going to do an air test of this, and I'm going to get criticized for this, but I think I can avoid the criticism by saying this: I never do an air test to determine the absolute depth of a detector. If you ever see me doing an air test, it's going to be a comparative air test between different coils and potentially between different manufacturers of detectors. Now, once again, I am not looking for the air test to give any idea, except in the widest terms, of the depth I would get in the ground. In that case, I'm just saying this is deeper than that. And I'm doing that in not a perfect environment, but I'm doing it in the same environment, or an environment that will be shared by both coils tested or both systems tested. So that's basically what I'm saying about the only way I use an air test. In any case, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to set up an air test on it. I'm going to be getting out. Well, I have been out digging. I went out digging yesterday. It was only in the high 30s, low 40s. Today it's in the low 30s. It was 27 last night. That so-called polar vortex. The polar vortex came down and hit us, which means vortex, defined as a cold wind from the north. Came down and hit us. So we're still sort of reeling under that, but you know, it's not too cold for detectoring. I'm just got to do some wardrobe reorganizing, and I'm going to be getting out probably maybe this evening, but probably tomorrow. I would have been out more often this week, but I had a pledge drive that I didn't know I was going to be involved in, and for a neighborhood radio station, and I went down and I did that one night and didn't really have time to detect during the time between work and that particular function. So I'm going to get this done and I will talk to you later. There we go. I'm not going to try your patience. I'm going to do this with only 2 coins. I'm going to do it with a quarter, and I'm going to do it with a dime. So here we go. I'm going to go over here and position myself and do the quarter. Five inches good. Pretty repeatable at 27. $28. $28.29. Okay, here we go with a dime. 25, which is 5 inches. I'm sorry. I've got to set on 20, so this is 5 inches. It's about 27 and a half. So it'd be 7 and a half versus about 8 and a half to 9 for the quarter. So let me get this up. And let me put on the new coil I got from Detech, and let's see how it does. Alright, I now have the Detech 8x6 inch coil set up. Of course, it's not the pie plate style of the white coil, it's the pie plate style that I don't really like that much, but if it works, it works. In any case, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the dime and the quarter, and we're going to see where it's going to come out here. So here we go. Here we go with the dime. 5 inches. Good. Get a little signal at 6 inches. Maybe 26 and a half, 27 inches. Here we go with the quarter. 5 inches good. 6 inches good. 7 inches good. I'm getting a little bit at 28. So I might be getting a slight penalty because this is a much smaller coil. Let me switch this off. This is a much smaller coil, so I expect some loss of depth, but that's really acceptable in the trashy areas that I'm going to be detecting in. And like I said, I'll always have the other coil when I need to go out into the wide open to the deeper areas. And by the way, this was slightly in variance in the results that I got using the MX5 and testing it with the M6, but there are some variables here that there's no way we can calculate, which is the reason that you probably should never use a air test as an absolute measure of the depth of a device, because it's a colder day, it's a wetter day, the temperature is different, the electromagnetic environment is different because of the possible moisture in the air, maybe even due to the temperature fluctuations. Not sure about that, but also it could be it's a darker day, there are more lights on than there were on the previous one. So all of these are factors that affect depth. So that's, once again, I'm not using this as an absolute measure of depth. I'm just getting a measure of a coil that has some depth, the normal M6 coil, and this new coil I've gotten from Detech, and I want to see how much less or more I have with this coil. I expected less, it's a smaller coil. So that's all I wanted to prove. In any case, that's all I've got, and like I said, I am detecting. I've been out a few times, picked up a few small things here and there, but I haven't really given it a full court press. Right now I'm preparing my my clothes for the winter detecting season. No complaints from me, because I see Keithy 6 and Detech in Alaska. I have no room to complain, but I'm just going to have to get things together and get back out there and edit. Like I said, I got rid of the weather whip yesterday, and it was in the low 40s and high 30s, and I just went out there with a hoodie on. So we'll see. And then I'm not going out with a hoodie when it's 30 or in the high 20s, but I will have a coat on and gloves. Gloves, believe it or not, I will actually be putting these hands in gloves. In any case, I will talk to you later. Bye bye.